Hello farmers, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be simple and straightforward. I want to share with you the project I took between January and February this year, and it was to start a poultry farm for a client. This was the farm the client rented and contacted me that he wants to fix the farm in place and start a poultry farm here. This farm was actually built by a different person and he now rented it out to this particular person. So he wanted to start a poultry farm here, and I was brought in to assist in the necessary things, give advice and co. So I started work immediately. This is when I came for the solution, came to see the farm, how the farm was, the structure of the farm, the capacity of the farm, how the nature of the farm. So I noticed some things. The farm was left for a while, so the wiring was down, and this farm had no good ventilation. Yes, you can see that windows are on three sides, but the other side there's no window. So immediately the first thing to do is to clean the poultry with normal water. You wash the poultry, and that is what I brought some people to do. The poultry was washed and the windows were removed to give a better ventilation, to provide a better ventilation for the birds. Look at the windows. Look at these windows. Everything is going to be removed, and then we are going to use net, poultry net, we are going to put it on the window to allow more ventilation into the poultry farm, because the poultry farm was not properly constructed and the client had already rented it. If I was to construct a poultry farm for a client, I wouldn't do it like this. I'll go for a wall-less poultry. Yes, the wall of the poultry will be just pillars and poultry net to allow free ventilation and make sure there's cross ventilation. So after washing, just see the floor is now neat, but we need to disinfect it. Yes, disinfection is very important because we don't know what happened on this poultry. So that is what we do. I brought in a disinfector with a very good chemical. The chemical that was used for this disinfection is called Zix Virox. Zix is a very strong antiviral, antibacterial, and a fungicide. It was now sprayed on the farm. See, it's also spraying the rafters. Very important. You have to spray every part of the farm, and make sure the liquid touch every part, the walls, the floor, every crack and every hole must be sprayed. So this is how you do it. This is the first one. He had to do it 2 to 3 times because the poultry was left for a long time, and we don't know what and why they shut down operations. So you have to disinfect properly, because the success and the failure of your poultry farm depends on it. So don't take it for granted. After the disinfection, the first one, then we'll now move to plumbing, and then yes, plumbing, very important. For this poultry farm, we are going to use automatic drinkers and manual feeders. We are going to do everything in deep litter. It's a deep litter system of poultry farm where the birds will be on the floor, and then we'll have drinkers and feeders so that birds can have access to it. Alternatively, we could have gone with battery cage, but because this room is not properly ventilated, I advise the client to go for deep litter, because battery cage is more difficult to manage when there's no ventilation. Yes, so this is the plumbing. You can see this tank was raised. The bigger tank will supply is where our storage is, the main water storage, and then the smaller tanks, these 2 tanks, are for the 2 poultry pens that we have that will supply our automatic drinkers. So each room has its tank, and then it's easier because when you want to apply medications or vitamins, you just drop them inside one tank, and then all the birds get it. Yes, so you are sure of what you are giving your birds, and it also reduce human contact with the drinkers, because just water from the tank can move into all the drinkers. So this is the environment of the poultry house. You can see that it's neater because it has actually been cleaned. So after the installation of the drinkers and feeders, you also need to spray the whole poultry again, because humans have come inside. So before you can go in to bring birds, you have to wash with normal water and detergent. Then you disinfect the whole poultry house. After the disinfection, you now install your feeders and drinkers. After then, you have to still disinfect, because the humans that come to do the work might have come with some disease causing agents into the farm. So take note of that. Always be proactive. Now, after you can see the drinkers. These are our automatic drinkers. This room can take 5 or 6 or 7. I just want to make sure all the beds have enough water to drink. And sometimes some drinkers may develop faults along the way. So you have to just provide enough for the beds to have access to water at all time. Yes, this is the final disinfection. You can see every part of the poultry have to be disinfected again. Yes, even the outside, the gutters, he's still spraying them. And you can see the windows I was talking about. We had to remove the windows and then to allow free flow of air from one window to the other corners of the room, because there were no enough windows and there was nothing we can do. We couldn't break the wall, but we just had to come up with a plan to make sure the beds have proper ventilation. The next thing is to provide beddings, poultry beddings, for the birds to be able to walk on. You don't just keep birds on the bare floor. It is important that you provide proper beddings for the birds. On this farm, I decided to go with rice husks. We apply it on the floor, and the birds can walk on it. The birds will now drop their litter or poultry droppings on it, and it also serves as manure for farmers that want to buy it. It is important because once you allow the birds on the bare floor and the floor is cold, you can cause different form of diseases, and a floor that is left continually wet can lead to growth, incubation of many diseases, including coccidiosis. We know that you don't allow your poultry litter to be wet, because poultry diseases can grow on it. Yes. Also, poultry litter can be toxic to the birds if allowed to develop methane gas. It irritates the respiratory tract of the birds, so it is important that you put a good dropping on the floor. I'll show you how it is done, how we put it, but this is the process. This is still on the process of the disinfection of the farm. I was there to supervise and make sure it is done properly, because I said the success of a farm depends on how you keep diseases out of the farm. Yes. So this is a poultry litter. This is uh, uh, the rice husk on the floor. You can see the drinkers and the feeders were properly arranged. Yes, you can see how they were arranged. We have feeders and drinkers all together. And this is important because if you don't arrange the feeders and drinkers properly, some birds may not have access to water or feed. So you end up having low production because only few birds will be eating the food. And it is important to have all the birds eat food and drink water at all times. Yes. So arrangement is very important. Yes, and you notice the the drinkers are raised and suspended in the air. This is just to prevent soiling of the drinkers, and also feeders. The feeders will be raised also. We raise them to the neck level of the bed, so that they can just use their neck and pick the food or drink water instead of soiling it with their feces. Very important. Yes. Okay, you can. Right now we have raised them, and everything is off the ground. Use strong rope so that, because these birds can just jump and land on it, and if the rope is not strong, it's going to cut. It is important to prevent the birds from defecating into their drinkers and their feeders. After this, you bring birds on site. Now, for this farm, we brought in point of lay birds. Yes, points of lay birds that are between. Some people sell their points of lay at 14 weeks. Some sell at 16 weeks. These ones were 15 weeks. The next thing after bringing birds is to make sure they are comfortable. Let me not forget, let me emphasize that biosecurity is very important. At the entry of every farm, you should have a dip. This is a dip. Every poultry farm should have a dip like this where you put disinfectant inside to prevent people from carrying infection into the poultry house. So this is a farm where we got our 1,000 pullets from. We got them at 15 weeks and they started laying at 19 weeks. Very impressive. So doing everything correctly is very important. And then you get production, you get good production, and your clients will be happy. And if it's your poultry, you'll be excited. So if this is your first time starting a poultry, don't forget to watch other of my videos and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, and if you like this video, don't forget to share with your family and friends so that they can also see what we are doing here. And if you have any specific topic you want me to discuss, please don't forget to leave it in the comment section. Just tell me what you feel about the video and my entire channel, where you need me to make adjustments and what you need me to do a video about, and I'll discuss in the next video. I can make a video about the particular topic that you have suggested. So thank you for watching again, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell to get notified every time I post an important video like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.